We use this section to talk about bows and greetings. Depending upon the class that you're in, sometimes we do different greetings and bows. Bowing on and off the mat is always a symbol of respect, showing respect to the people that are on the mat. It also shows respect to yourself, your hard work and the hard work you put into that place. It's like saying, yes, I put a lot of hard work in this place, so it deserves some credit. So a normal bow we'll do on and off of the mat, and generally in the 3 and 4-year-old class, is just a simple hands to the sides, feet together, and bow. Now, one thing that we do different in our system, traditionally, a traditional Japanese bow, you would keep your head down. That's actually considered disrespectful to keep your head up. In fact, a lot of times, if you ever see, for instance, a student and a teacher bow, the student always bows a little lower than the teacher. If you're at your workplace in your Japanese, you would bow a little lower than your boss. So just to show that respect. Now, we do the same bow, but generally we keep our eyes up. Because we're doing the fighting art, we're always saying, I'm always going to keep my eyes on you. So the bow is always eyes up and then up. But it is a fairly deep bow. It shouldn't just be the head. That way, again, the respect is shown. So that's just the regular bow. A lot of times when you start your introductory course lessons, we start with the left foot going out, the right hand symbolizing the fist or the warrior, and this is the scholar that cover it. And a lot of times that in different systems, in different schools, it can mean different things. A lot of times that means you're hiding your knowledge. Remember that in history, it's been illegal to study the martial arts. A lot of times, if your province took over another province in China, you wouldn't allow them to study martial arts because that would possibly start an uprising, and you didn't want that. You didn't want your enemies knowing martial arts and how to fight. So sometimes it could be illegal to fight. So you kept your knowledge. It was secret. Then when we come up to attention, we reach and clear everything out of our way. This is just making sure that you have room in a class. It also makes sure this is kind of your body space, your body bubble. You should know, if someone's in that, you should know where they are and what they're doing. So then when I come to attention, the heels of my palms always hit first, and then my fingers, always making the statement that I would never hit my fingers first. I'll always hit the heels of my palms. So again, the greeting in the introductory course lessons is stepping out to 1, and then coming up to 2, all together, and then bowing with the eyes up. And then once we get to the normal classes, we do the greeting, the salutation. Now, the salutation itself, I don't want to spend too much time with it in class. That's why we kind of step through it a little bit and kind of move on. We just hope that the students are just kind of watching and paying attention, and then as they keep coming to class, it gets easier and easier. But I'm going to do the short version of the short greeting. Now, this comes from the Boxer Rebellion. Check out your history. The Boxer Rebellion was about 1900 in China, and the Chinese were trying to expel all the industrial countries, and that's where this saying from this greeting comes from. So this greeting, the short greeting, this symbolizes the warrior, and this is the scholar. So again, the warrior and the scholar that come together, go forth to fight, back to back, to pull the country back together. So again, if you watch now with my feet, what's happening is I'm stepping basically to a twist stance. I'm stepping out of my own way. That's the whole idea, is to make sure I've got plenty of room to step forward. So I bring the warrior up, and I step as the scholar comes out in front. I'm giving myself plenty of room. I'm out on a 45-degree cat stance, so I've got my foot out in front, no weight on that foot, so I can use it to kick with if I want. And I'm showing the warrior and the scholar back to back to pull the country back together. Everything's at the same time. Eventually you do it. Timing is important. So you're trying to get your timing right in your greeting, get it started right there, and your timing hopefully is correct throughout all of your techniques. And then the full salutation that we use, usually in the advanced classes, starts with the warrior and the scholar come together, go forth to fight, back to pull the country back together. Then we extend it with the Japanese version. This says, we have no weapons, we keep our secrets. Again, we're talking about how sometimes it was illegal to study martial arts, and we pray for forgiveness if we have to use them. When I come to attention, the heels of the palms are coming out and hitting first. So again, that shows how Kenpo is actually kind of a blend of your Chinese greeting and your Japanese greeting, and Kenpo is a blend of Japanese and Chinese arts. Now, eventually, we put it all together. Usually, for instance, in the advanced classes, when we bow on and off the mat, we bow with our eyes up. And then traditionally, in a traditional Kenpo school, when we start the class, it started with this greeting. It's one, closing, like a starting a meditation position to kind of gather our thoughts together, and then come to attention, and then we bow with our eyes up. And then the full salutation is done at the end of every advanced class. And again, I'll do it slowly. This is the warrior, and the scholar that come together, go forth to fight, back to back, to pull the country back together. Since we have no weapons way above my head, we keep our secrets, and we pray for forgiveness if we have to use them. Hands are on the corners, and it all comes together at the same time. And then we can bow again at the end. And that's the greeting and salutations.